Today, we're reviving 12 ghost legends from Idaho, timeless spirits and chilling stories that continue to haunt the state. Number 1. Phantom Lovers of Spirit Lake. In northern Idaho, Spirit Lake is known for its beauty, but behind the calm waters lies a story of heartbreak that has never faded. Long ago, a young Kootenai woman and her lover were forbidden to be together by tribal custom. Faced with a life apart, the two tied themselves together with a rope, climbed into a canoe, and paddled to the center of the lake. Without hesitation, they slipped beneath the water, sealing their fate and their vow to remain together forever. Ever since that tragic night, the lake has carried their voices. Fishermen and campers tell of mournful cries drifting across the surface, especially on calm evenings when the water is still. Some say the sound is like someone calling for help, while others describe it as the cries of two lovers who cannot rest. The echoes seem to come from nowhere and everywhere at once. Most haunting of all are the sightings of a canoe gliding silently across the lake under the moonlight. Witnesses describe two ghostly figures sitting side by side, their outlines pale against the dark water. As suddenly as it appears, the canoe fades into the mist, leaving behind only ripples that vanish without a trace. Today, Spirit Lake draws visitors for fishing, camping, and hiking, but those who know the story approach the shoreline with respect. The legend of the Phantom Lovers is more than a tale. It is a reminder of how love and sorrow can linger, carried forever on the waters of Spirit Lake. Number 2. Owyhee Mountain Cannibal Dwarves. In the rugged Owyhee Mountains of southwest Idaho, native folklore tells of creatures far more terrifying than bears or wolves. The Shoshone and Bannock tribes spoke of small, human-like beings only a couple of feet tall, with long tails and sharp teeth. Known as the Cannibal Dwarves, these creatures were said to live in caves and prey upon anyone unlucky enough to cross their path. Parents used the legend to warn children not to stray too far. Hunters told of finding strange tracks in the dirt, like human footprints, but far too small and oddly shaped. Some stories described the dwarves carrying stone clubs, traveling in groups, and ambushing lone travelers. Once captured, the victim was never seen again, dragged into the shadows of the mountains. The cries of the dwarves were said to echo through the canyons when the wind blew, a chilling sound that kept people away from certain caves. Elders told of warriors who tried to hunt them down, but the dwarves always vanished into their rocky hiding places. Travelers who went missing in the Owyhee wilderness were often said to have been taken by these merciless beings. Today, the mountains remain remote and mysterious, their caves still dark and uninviting. Hikers speak of strange sounds and the unsettling feeling of being watched. Though no one has ever proven the dwarves exist, their legend continues to haunt Idaho's wildest lands, a reminder that some places carry dangers no one can fully explain. Number 3. Boise High School's Basement Ghost. Boise High School, one of the oldest in Idaho, has stood since 1902 and carries with it a reputation for being haunted. Beneath the busy classrooms lies a basement, once used as a rehearsal space for drama students. Over time, Stories spread of a ghostly woman who still lingers in the shadows, tied to a tragedy from the early years of the school. Students often describe the same unsettling experiences. Echoing footsteps ring out when the halls are empty, doors slam without warning, and cold spots appear suddenly in the rehearsal rooms. The most unnerving of all is the sound of a woman's voice, soft, mournful, sometimes singing, sometimes weeping. It seems to come from nowhere, yet fills the space as though she is standing nearby. Those who claim to have seen her describe a figure in an old-fashioned dress, with her hair pinned neatly in a bun. She appears briefly in doorways or along the stage, watching silently before vanishing into the dark. Paranormal investigators who have visited Boise High recorded unusual activity, but no one has ever been able to identify exactly who she was or why she remains. Today, the school is alive with students and lessons, but the legend of its basement ghost endures. Generations of students continue to share their own encounters, some avoiding the basement entirely, others daring each other to explore. Whether she is a guardian or a restless soul, her presence is woven into the history of Boise High, a reminder that even a place built for learning can carry echoes of the past. Number 4. Fish Woman. Lake Coeur, with its clear waters and forested shores, is one of Idaho's most famous landmarks, but hidden beneath its beauty is a legend that has haunted the region for generations. Local stories tell of a fish woman, a strange half-human, half-creature that lurks near a jagged rock out in the water. She is said to rise from the depths at night, her form shimmering with scales, her long hair wet and tangled, before slipping back under the surface. Boaters and fishermen have long reported hearing eerie noises near that rock, unexplained splashes, cries, and even laughter. Some say she calls out in a voice that sounds almost human, luring the curious closer to the danger of the deep waters. Her presence is often felt rather than seen, with sudden ripples in the water and boats rocking without warning, as though something massive has passed just below. Adding to the fear is another part of the tale, a monstrous horned creature that accompanies the fish woman. This lake beast is said to be powerful enough to overturn boats, rising from the depths in flashes before vanishing again. Together, the fish woman and her monstrous companion have kept the legend alive, whispered in the harbors and around campfires. Today, Lake Coeur d'Alene remains a place of beauty and recreation, but the story lingers. Visitors still glance uneasily at the water's surface, wondering if the fish woman is watching. For many, the lake's beauty is forever tied to its mystery, where something ancient may still stir beneath the waves. Number 5. Ghost Stallion of Owyhee County. The wilderness of southwest Idaho is vast and rugged, a place where storms sweep the desert and mountains meet the sky. It is also home to the legend of the ghost stallion, a great white horse that appears when travelers are lost or in peril. Cowboys spoke of seeing the stallion gallop out of the clouds, leading a herd of ghostly horses across the plains, their hooves thundering without leaving a single track. For ranchers and riders, the sight was both terrifying and comforting. Some claimed the stallion appeared to guide the lost back to safety, while others believed it was an omen of death. Stories spread of men caught in storms who swore the white stallion led them to shelter, disappearing the moment they were safe. Others told of hearing the sound of galloping hooves in the night, though no living horse could be found. The stallion's ghostly herd is said to be just as restless. Cowboys riding through the range at night sometimes spoke of glowing forms in the distance, only to vanish like mist. When the air grows heavy and the skies darken, locals still say the white stallion rides again, carrying with it the spirits of untamed horses that once roamed the land. Today, the Owyhee Mountains remain wild and lonely, with stretches of desert and canyon where one can ride for hours without meeting another soul. The legend of the ghost stallion lives on, a reminder of the bond between humans and horses and the mystery of the open range, where even in death, the spirit of freedom still runs. Number 6. Water babies. Along the banks of the Snake River near Massacre Rocks lies one of Idaho's most unsettling legends. In a time of famine, when food was scarce and survival seemed impossible, Native mothers faced a choice no parent should ever endure. With no way to feed their children, some are said to have carried them to the river and gently lowered them into the water, sparing them from the slow agony of starvation. Though the act was born from desperation, their grief lingered and the legend of the water babies was born. Travelers and fishermen who visit the site often speak of sounds that make the skin crawl. On quiet nights, the faint cries of infants drift across the water, carried by the wind as if echoing from the past. Some describe hearing soft laughter mixed with sobs, as though the children play just beneath the surface, forever tied to the river that claimed them. The cries are so real that many have gone searching, only to find nothing but rippling waves. Others believe the water babies are not only sorrowful, but vengeful. Tales tell of swimmers pulled beneath the surface by invisible hands, or anglers feeling a sudden tug strong enough to topple them into the current. The river is said to take those who draw too close, their struggles followed by high-pitched giggles that fade into silence. The thought that the spirits might lure the living into their watery world has kept the legend alive for generations. Today, Massacre Rocks is a state park, visited for its scenic beauty, with trails and picnic grounds along the Snake River. Yet even in daylight, the place carries an uneasy reputation. For those who know the legend, the waters seem deeper and darker, filled with voices from long ago. Number 7. Phantom Hitchhiker of Teton Valley. The winding roads of Teton Valley carry not only travelers, but also one of Idaho's most haunting legends, the Phantom Hitchhiker. On lonely nights, drivers report seeing a young woman standing by the roadside, dressed in pale clothing, her arm raised for a ride. She looks real enough to fool even the most cautious driver, often appearing tired, cold, or in distress, as though stranded far from home. Those who stop to help find her strangely quiet. She slips into the back seat or passenger side, speaking in a soft voice, if at all. Some say she asks to be taken to a spot down the road, while others describe her simply pointing silently toward the valley ahead. Before the car reaches its destination, she always vanishes, fading like mist, leaving behind only an icy chill and the lingering scent of damp earth. The origins of the ghost remain a mystery, though locals believe she may be the spirit of a woman killed in an accident decades ago. Others suggest she was someone waiting for help on a stormy night, who never made it home. Whatever her true story, her spirit seems bound to the road, endlessly retracing her final journey by flagging down unsuspecting travelers. Even today, the legend is alive in Teton Valley. Some dismiss the stories as tricks of the dark, yet others swear by their encounters, their voices heavy with conviction. Truckers, tourists, and locals alike tell of her sudden appearances. Whether she is a warning, a restless soul, or simply a shadow of memory, the phantom hitchhiker continues to haunt Idaho's roads, a lonely reminder that some journeys never truly end. Number 8. Ghosts of the Lewiston Civic Theater. In Lewiston, the Civic Theater stands as one of Idaho's most haunted buildings. Housed in a structure that was once a Methodist church, it later became home to actors and performers. But its past turned grim in 1982, when 2 women and a girl mysteriously disappeared after visiting the building. Their bodies were never found, and from then on, the Civic Theater gained a reputation for being filled with restless spirits. Actors rehearsing late at night report footsteps echoing across the stage and doors opening by themselves. Some claim to see a man with red hair drifting among the seats, while others have spotted an older gentleman standing silently in a doorway, watching but never speaking. His presence is so common that performers have come to expect him. One of the most chilling stories is of a bride who appears in the balcony, her figure dressed in white. Witnesses say she glides across the seats before fading into the shadows, her expression distant and full of sorrow. Some believe she is connected to the women who vanished in the 1980s, while others think she may be tied to the building's earlier history as a church. Today, the Lewiston Civic Theater still hosts performances, but many visitors come just as much for the ghosts as for the shows. Whether the spirits are former actors, lost souls, or echoes of tragedy, they have become part of the theater's identity. The stage may belong to the living, but the shadows, it seems, belong to the dead. Number 9. Lida Southard. Few figures in Idaho history are as chilling as Lida Southard, better known as Lady Bluebeard. In the early 1900s, Lida lived in Twin Falls and gained a reputation not for ghostly appearances, but for deadly deeds. She was accused of poisoning multiple husbands, and even her own daughter, with arsenic in order to collect life insurance. Her crimes shocked the small community and earned her a place in American crime history. After her arrest in 1921, Lida was sentenced to life in prison, though she escaped and was later recaptured. She eventually died in 1958 and was buried in Twin Falls. Yet death did not silence her story. Visitors to her grave have reported an uneasy, oppressive feeling, as though being watched. Some claim to feel sudden chills or hear faint whispers when standing near her marker. Local lore insists that Lida's spirit lingers, tied to the crimes that gave her the name Lady Bluebeard. People visiting her old neighborhood say they have seen a woman in dark clothing walking silently before vanishing. Others believe her restless ghost haunts the places where she lived, doomed to wander as punishment for the lives she took. Today, Lida Southard is remembered as both a true criminal and a ghostly legend. While her deeds are part of the historical record, The stories of her spirit add another layer to her infamy. Number 10. Mrs. Stricker of Rock Creek Station, south of Hanson, Idaho, stands the historic Rock Creek Station and Stricker Ranch, once a vital stop along the Oregon Trail. It served as a stage station, store, and gathering place for weary pioneers heading west. But beyond its history of travel and trade, the site is said to be home to the lingering spirit of its matriarch, Mrs. Stricker, whose presence has been felt by visitors for generations. Those who walk the grounds describe a comforting yet eerie sensation, as though someone is watching kindly from the shadows. Mrs. Stricker is said to appear inside the old house, her figure faint but unmistakable, moving quietly through rooms, as if still tending to her home. Unlike other Idaho spirits, hers is not described as menacing, but protective, almost as though she wishes to ensure her family's legacy remains. Guests have reported doors opening on their own, soft footsteps echoing across empty floors, and the rustle of skirts brushing past. In some cases, children have claimed to see a woman smiling at them before vanishing. Many believe this is the spirit of Mrs. Stricker herself, offering a gentle reminder of her enduring role as caretaker of the land. Today, the Rock Creek Station is preserved as a historic site, attracting tourists eager to learn about Idaho's pioneer past. Yet for those who step inside the old ranch house, history and legend blur. The presence of Mrs. Stricker lingers in every creak of the wood and every unexplained sound, making her one of Idaho's most beloved ghostly figures. Number 11. Dinah, the BSU piano ghost. At Boise State University, the Communications Building carries a legend that has fascinated students for decades, the story of Dinah, a playful spirit who makes her presence known in mysterious ways. Strange events were first reported by students working late, lights flickering, computers turning on by themselves, and doors opening as though pushed by invisible hands. At first, these moments were dismissed as old wiring, until one night changed everything. During a rehearsal, a group of students asked aloud if the spirit had a name. Suddenly, the piano struck up the tune, "Someone's in the Kitchen with Dinah." No one sat at the bench, yet the melody rang clear. The students froze in disbelief, and from that moment, the ghost became known simply as Dinah. The song gave her both an identity and a legend that has never left the campus. Over the years, Dinah has shown her presence again and again. Men seem to attract her most, often reporting sudden chills or hearing faint humming just behind them. Some describe footsteps echoing across empty rooms, while others swear they heard piano keys playing at night, only to find the room silent and still when they entered. Her mischief feels less frightening than playful, as though she enjoys reminding everyone she is still there. Today, Dinah is part of Boise State's folklore. New students learn her story quickly, and many secretly hope to hear her tune or catch a glimpse of her tricks. She is remembered not as a menacing ghost, but as a mischievous presence tied to the music and spirit of the university. Number 12. Screaming Alice of Silver City. The mining town of Silver City, once bustling with fortune seekers in the 1800s, is now a ghost town in more ways than one. Among its many legends, none is more terrifying than that of Screaming Alice, a woman whose life ended in heartbreak and madness. Her story begins with tragedy. After losing her husband and children to illness, Alice's grief consumed her, and she was said to wander the town in despair. One day she packed her belongings as if to leave, but instead vanished without explanation. Some say she threw herself from a building, others that she collapsed in the street and died from exhaustion. Whatever the truth, townsfolk began reporting chilling cries in the night, the sound of a woman screaming and wailing through the empty streets. Visitors to Silver City claim her spirit never left. Some have heard her screams echoing from the remains of the old hotels and saloons, while others report glimpsing a woman in ragged clothing rushing past before disappearing into thin air. In the most frightening versions of the legend, she appears armless, waving bloody stumps as she runs through the ruins, forever reliving her torment. Today, Silver City is a quiet, historic site, but its haunted reputation endures. Tourists exploring its crumbling buildings often speak of unease, as though the town remembers its sorrows. The legend of Screaming Alice remains the most chilling reminder that even in death, grief can echo through the ages, carried by the winds of Idaho's forgotten past. If you enjoyed the video, please click the like button, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. See you in the next one.